Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being the name of his only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we're going to deal with these strongholds that the so-called Christian church and the so-called white man has placed on over the whole world. See, these are some of the covering casts and the veil that he put over all nations. And I'm gonna start with that one. Salakia. Let's get Isaiah 25:7. It says, he will destroy in this mountain, meaning this kingdom, the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. See, this is another veil. This is another covering cast, or this is a part of the covering cast that these deceivers and antichrists put over all nations. See, and let me get 2 Corinthians 10:4. It says, let me start with 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. And so these pulling down of these strongholds is what we war with and what we use. This weapon that he gave us is this two-edged sword. Now, Apostle Paul was prophesying in 2 Thessalonians. I'm going to get right to the point. Verse 8, he said, and then shall that wicked. Who is that wicked? When you read Malachi 1:4, it lets you know that the border of wickedness is the nation of Edom. See, and they the one put the covering cast and these strongholds over all nations. It say, then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. See, this is the weapon that the Lord is going to destroy these Edomites who put the Salakia, the Edomites who put the covering cast over people and put these strongholds over people. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Now, who is that? That's the prophets. See, what let's go ahead and get that in Luke. Luke chapter 1. I'm about to 60 the 7 verse 70. It said, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets. So with the Lord's mouth, the mouth is the holy prophets. You see, because he's speaking through them. And so they are the ones that's going to be given the information to bring down these strongholds. They're going to be bringing out the truth, so these strongholds can be brought down. So Apostle Paul said the wicked going to be revealed with the exposing and revealing the strongholds of the wicked. See, because the Edomites, they done presented strongholds. Let's get at John 3:16, because they plaster this verse all over everything. A covering cast, and all of they so-called universal churches, Catholic churches. See, this universal religion that they gave to all nations. All nations can come to God, to the God of Israel. See, all nations can serve the God of the Israelites. All nations, see, is loved by the God of the Israelites. See, and they present this John 3:16 that had nothing to do with all nations. You see, John 3 had nothing to do with all nations. Let's get the context. Verse 1, it says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher came from God, for no man can do these miracles that you do except God be with him. So this is a conversation between Yahushua, the king of the Jews, and the Pharisee, the ruler of the Jews. These two Israelites is having a conversation. And so they're going to talk about the God of Israel. Because guess what? When you go into uh, Peter in Acts 10 lets you know even from his mouth. See, not just hearsay. From his mouth, he lets you know how the Israelites was dealing. It said, he said unto them, ye know that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. So the Israelites did not deal with other nations. So when Jehoshua came to him and was talking about the world, the first thing would have happened. Nicodemus would have been talking about, well, we don't deal with these other nations. How you mean God loved these other nations? See, Nicodemus is not going to let him go with that. That's going to be a major debate, or he going to try to get some clarity on the situation that we don't deal with other nations. But that ain't what Yahweh was presenting to him in John 3:16. Because when you go back to John, you jump down to verse 14. This is what you can ask any Christian and anybody that's believing in this. God love everybody. He's coming for all nations. He's giving all nations a chance to be on his side and to get love from him. See, to be saved from the destruction that he's gonna bring. It says in verse 14, it says, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. So let's get verse 13 to get the whole context, because it says, and no man have ascended up to heaven but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so, and that even so means the same way. The same way. And it's not just talking about the same way that the universal church want to present it. Like in John 3:16, they want to present it as all nations. No. He didn't lift up the serpent to all nations. He lifted up the serpent to the children of Israel. Even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. See, he lifted up the serpent to the children of Israel, and the Edomites was on the scene. They had just went past it. Let's go ahead and get that, because we talking about Esau, Edom. Let's expose them all the way. Numbers, what is it? Numbers 21, around about the 8th or 9th verse. Let's get verse 4. Verse 4. It's a day's journey from Mount Har by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. See, they was over there by the Edomites. And so this is the This is why he's telling them this. And he said, told them in verse 6, he said, the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Now, when you go into Exodus, what was going on? Exodus 17:15. Well, let's go to 9 or 8. And it talks about Mount Har on this one. Now it says here that this is where the oh my goodness, look at what this thing says now. They sojourning in the wilderness. Now this say upon the rock Horeb, and thou smote the rock. Okay, and this was Moses made the water come out the rock, and it said he called the name of something something because the cheating of the children of Israel, because they tempted the Lord, and the Lord they tempted the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" Then and then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Okay, so this is the same example. They went to doing some mess, and here come Amalek. Now, Amalek went to fighting the Israelites, and the Lord said this in 14. He said, and the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book. So this is for everybody to remember. We want this situation to be remembered, just like John 3:16, and these serpents coming on the Israelites, these fiery serpents, these red dragons. See, that's another thing. Fire is always associated with red. And then you got the serpent is a dragon. These red dragons were sick on the children of Israel. Look at 14 and say, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it into the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heaven. Moses set up an altar. Verse 16, for he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. See, this is the same situation that Yahweh was talking about with Nicodemus. Because in Numbers 21, the fiery serpents is if it's not the Edomites coming on to the Israelites, it's the freaking what you call it, a dark sand and what was a similitude, a allegory. See, and so let me get. I wanted to see if they was in the same place. But let me go back to John 3:16 because we running out of time. John 3:16. Let's get that. It say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So let's go to Acts and get this whosoever, because this is what, after you break the world down to people, they say, well, what he said, well, whosoever. So when you go into Acts 2 and 22, or starting at 21, it said, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. See, because they try to say this is a universal situation. As long as they call on the name of the Lord, all of the punishments and the curses that supposed to come upon them and their nation is going to be eliminated from them, that one individual who calling on the name of the Lord from another nation. But look at what the verse say, who he talking to. He said, ye men of Israel, hear these words. That's the same thing that happened in Acts 10. When he went to talk about the anybody that's doing righteousness of another nation, he said this message was sent to the children of Israel. It wasn't sent to the whole world and to all nations. So that is a bold-faced lie that this Catholic, this universal concept was presented by the Edomites, which they the one put this covering cast over the world. But look at Isaiah 60. It'll tell you what the Gentiles or these Edomites is going to do. Verse 2, it say, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, because they got the rulership of the earth through the blessing of Esau, their forefather. It says, and gross darkness the people. See, gross darkness would cover all nations because these Edomites would be pushing that God done got rid of the Israelites and he gonna deal with all nations and anybody that's just running their mouth calling his name. And this is not what the scriptures is saying. He was talking to the Israelites. Now let's go to Isaiah 45 because it's a let's get the rule first. Isaiah 8 and 20. It's a rule that the Israelites knew about because especially Yahushua, because he would always get the book of Isaiah when he went into on the Sabbath, when he went into the temple or he went into the temple and they gave him the scroll of Isaiah and he went to read in Isaiah, so they knew the rules of how you supposed to present things. That's why they had scribes in the temple. That's why when he went up in the Sabbath, he went to read in the scriptures. He didn't just get up there and start running his mouth like a Christian. Verse 20, he said, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in him. And see, Yahushua was the light to the nation, the light to the Gentiles. And so he was going to be bringing scripture. So when you go into Isaiah 45:17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Meaning they got an everlasting situation. See, they not going to be rejected and give it to some other people with some fruits. No, they going to be the ones that's going to get it. It says, ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded. See, they not going to be ashamed and saying, "Oh, God rejected y'all. Y'all didn't accept Yahushua, and you joined the Edomites and helped the Edomites kill Yahushua." Just like King Saul joined the Edomites and helped them kill 82 priests, the Levite priests. See, no, they're not gonna be ashamed just because some of the Israelites was wicked. It says, "Nor confounded." World without end. See, the reason Isaiah in this scripture is being quoted because Yahweh already know that these Gentiles and these other nations is going to try to say that the Israelites is going to be done away with. That's why he said a world without end. What other verse that God made sure he said all of this in one spot? It's Malachi. Hold on. It's 6. Is it 6? Yeah, Malachi 3 and 6. Salaki. It say, for I am the Lord Yahweh, I change not. See, he don't change, man. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. See, they a world without end. They not going to have an end. It's not going to be that they going to be replaced by a bunch of wicked behind nations. The Lord is not going to change his promise that he promised to their forefathers, that their children was going to go into slavery and he was going to give them a nation afterwards with all kind of money and wealth. Because that's an allegory too. That's a parable too. See, because that's the overall situation is Abraham's blessing is going to be put on his children, which is the Israelites, is the children of Abraham, and they going to have an everlasting kingdom and get blessed with riches after they slavery. Now let's go into what was the other one I want to bring? Um where is it? Because we talking about all nations. Jeremiah 25. See, we talking about prophecy. Prophecy is not gonna be eliminated. Where is it? Okay. I guess it's 15. 15 say that, for thus says the Lord God of Israel, not the whole world, unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all nations to whom I send you to drink it. All of them got to drink it. Verse 17. Then he took the cup of the Lord's hand and made all nations drink unto whom the Lord had sent me. So all of them got to drink. But then he give you the order. It says, to which Jerusalem, the cities of Judah, the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation and an astonishment and a hissing and a curse, as it is this day. So first the Israelites had to get the judgment first. They had to get the fury, the slavery first. They had to get put to in submission and serve. Just like Yahweh say, you these two sons of what I forgot, Zebedee or whatever, the mama was trying to get the two sons to sit on the left hand and the right hand. He says, y'all ready to drink this cup? Say, first you got to be a servant before you be a leader. First you got to serve before you turn into a king and sit on my left and my right hand. See, that's why he told the 12 disciples, you're going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel, because they're going to be on his right hand, on his left hand, sitting on them thrones, ruling with him over the children of Israel and over all kingdoms. So this is the same cup he talking about. This cup of fury was put on the Israelites first. That's why he told the women, y'all weeping for me. You need to be weeping for your children, because they finna go they behind into slavery, into all nations. See? So the Israelites had to go first. But who had to go after the Israelites? He said Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the servants, the princes, and all his people. So he started naming everybody. He named the Edomites, the Moabites, the Chinese, the children of Ammon, the Japanese. And he get to the climax in 26. He say, and all the kings of the north are near one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth. All of them got to drink the cup of slavery. This is mainly what he's talking about. See, all of them got to be under submission. And these peoples are not in slavery. The Arabs is not in slavery. The so-called white man is not in slavery. In somebody else's nation. The freaking East Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the North Koreans, the South Koreans, the Africans, they ain't living in the land of another people where they got to look them in the face and serve them and work on their job and work on their business venture. Help them complete their business venture. They help them get some money. See, they don't have these other nations not uh dealing with that, and they never dealt with it since King David and King Solomon. None of these people has been dealing with you got to go serve another nation inside of their nation. All of these nations, let's go get that. Isaiah 14, 18. And let God be true and every man a liar. It say all kings of the nations, even all of them. See, all these nations that I was naming, they lie in glory, everyone in his own house. See, all these nations is in their land. They not in America being a slave to the so-called white man. See, they just coming to America to get businesses and send their money back to their country to do trade and all of this stuff. Let's get that in Ezekiel. I ain't grabbed this one in a while. Ezekiel 17. Around about the third verse, it say, and say, thus says the Lord God, a great eagle with great wings. What's the symbol of America? Long winged, full of feathers, with diverse colors, came unto Lebanon and took the highest branch of the cedar. That Lebanon is talking about the chosen nation, which is a tree, which represents a man. This great eagle is the Edomites. It says, verse 4, he cropped off the top of his young twig and carried it into the land of traffic. See, this is the land where all these nations come and trade and make money. He set it in a city of merchants. So these people come over here to get this money and they take it back to their own land and lie in glory. That's why you got the woman over there in Dubai. She running her mouth like a Negro from the projects, and they done threw her behind in jail. See, because they in their land living as princes, and they got palaces and all this kind of stuff, and they building all kind of new countries, Dubai, new great cities, and people are coming to their cities. See, they ride around in Lamborghinis and Bentleys and all kind of Rolls Royce and big major cars. See, she over there trying to do business, cause the Edomites let the so-called black woman, uh, do amazing things, so they can pretty much not build a family. So he want to put they behind the word, but uh, all of these nations is lying in glory, and they only coming to America to do business. That's why in Revelation 18 it talk about they lived deliciously with Babylon the Great, this city of merchants, this great city where merchants is all over the place. And when they destroy America, the merchants is gonna be crying like some babies because they gonna be mad that they can't do business no more. See, all the nations in the world is gonna be crying, saying, we used to get money with America and we can't do it no more. But the only people in America that's not getting no money and don't got no businesses is the children of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. See, they going through that first judgment, drinking the cup of the Lord, and his drinking his fury in that cup. See, they being servants first before he make them kings and priests where they gonna reign on the earth forever. That's why I say Israel is a world without end and they have an everlasting salvation. See, because this is who Yahweh Shah was talking about in John 3:16. And he pretty much was saying the same thing with Romans 9 and 13 say. See, it say, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, not the whole world, not all the nations. They still got to go drink that cup. But Esau have I hated, because Esau is ruling, and his head done got so big, he done claimed the nationality of Jacob's children, and he living in luxury, uh, receiving the blessings of his forefather, but he's posing as the children of Israel. That's what that Revelations 2 and what is it, 2 and 9 or something like that, talking about that even those that say they are Jews, but which are not, but they the synagogue of Satan. because Satan is the Edomites. That's who Satan is. And because Satan just means adversary. And the Edomites been adversary the whole time. That's what we went through Numbers and uh, John 3:14 with these fiery red serpents. Just that's what Revelation 12 and 9 is talking about. The red dragons. See, who deceived the whole world. These are the Edomites. See, and this is the people that is ruling. So he had to reiterate, Jacob have I loved, because the world, the God, I'm giving my son for Jacob. See, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. I gave my son for the children of Israel, not for the Edomites, who's coming up with this universal religion. He's using my words and pushing universalism and saying that the prophecies about me giving these other nations a cup of fury, meaning I'm gonna punish they behind with slavery, just like I did the Israelites. No, he telling them. See, Esau Edom is telling them that y'all ain't got to go through none of them judgments. You just got to run your mouth and say the name of the Lord. And all of them punishments and judgments and prophecies is thrown in the trash. God was just lying and he was just telling the Israelites that, but he really didn't mean nothing that he said. He was going to change everything. That's why I read Malachi 3 and 6. He was going to change everything and give it to all people who run their mouth and say his name. See, and all of the murder, rape, rob, and murder that they was doing, them and their forefathers, they ain't got to worry about that either. See, and this is the covering cast that he put upon all nations, that they think God love everybody just because he created Abraham. I'm going to end it on that one with the shotgun. Second Ezra, let's go through it with 5. If it ain't 5, it's 6. Yep. 6. Second Ezra 6. Starting at 54. And after these, Adam also, who thou made Lord over all your creatures, of him come we all nations as a living right now came out of Adam, and the people also whom you have chosen. So it's a chosen line out of Adam, which is the Israelites. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because you made the world for our sakes. As for the other people that's not coming out of the line of the Israelites, which also came of Adam, these other nations that's gonna get their judgments, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Now when you go into Isaiah, I'm gonna end it on this. Isaiah, where we at? Isaiah 40 and 17. It say all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing, and vanity, because he gonna raise the Israelites up to be the kings and the priests, and these other nations is gonna have to drink that cup that Jeremiah was talking about. They got to go into slavery just like the Israelites went into slavery. See, the Lord is not gonna just do the Israelites that way. And let's get it real quick out of his mouth. Where is it? Look at what he said. Let's get straight to the point. Say, when Yahweh shall come, in verse 32, it say, behold, before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as the shepherd divide his sheep from the goats. And those goats is talking about the heathen or the Gentiles that was led by Esau Edom, who is the real goat, because that's why uh, Rebecca put the goat hairs on Jacob to fool to make Isaac think that uh, Esau, that Jacob was Esau. He used goat hair because the so-called white man got goat hair. See, goats got long, stringy hair. The sheep's, see, got nappy, woolly hair. See, this the contrast. That's why you got people with straight hair, people with woolly hair. And this is the whole situation. The sheep was the Israelites, and the goats was the heathen, which is ran by the Edomites, because they got the kingdom uh, from the blessing of Esau. Because Jacob and Esau was given, both of them was given a blessing of rulership, but the other nation was gonna rule right alongside of the Edomites. That's why in Luke, I'm gonna end it on this for sure. Luke 24 is saying, they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. See, the Israelites was gonna go there behind into slavery first. And the Jerusalem shall be trodden down on the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. The Gentiles is gonna rule, all of them. The Edomites gonna be the leader, and they all gonna rule with the Edomites. And this they gonna have a certain period of time to rule. And while they ruling, the Israelites is gonna be in the slavery because they was gonna drink that cup first. They was gonna drink the cup of slavery first, and the other nations is gonna have to drink it afterwards. See, the Israelites is gonna be issuing that slavery. That's what uh 14 Isaiah 14:1 is talking about. Revelation 13:10, Jeremiah 30:16. See, they gonna have to go into slavery next with that Revelation 2:26. See, all nations is gonna have to feel that rod of iron from the Israelites. That means the rulership. They're gonna reign over all nations, rule all nations. That's Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. That they gonna have to go to the Israelites to get the law. Meaning the Israelites is gonna be the police and ruling over everybody like the so-called white man doing. But I'm gonna leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim and Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace of the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.